Gareth, off to Newport County this weekend. It's Rodney Parade. I gather over 500 fans are going. No midweek game. Has that been good for you to have a bit more time on the training pitch?
Yeah, always good when there's no midweek game. Phil, as a player, I loved it. I love playing games. That's all you want to do as a player. But as a manager, I like my prep. I like to look at the opposition, get some thoughts together, get some sessions on the pitch. And as I said last season, we didn't really have many sessions with the players. This season we have, and I'm hoping people are seeing the results of that. So to get 3 days on the grass with them, and then tomorrow will be very brief. Little sort of reminders of what we want to do, and then we set off to Newport overnight again, which again can't thank the club enough for letting us prepare properly. And to run out in front of 500 of our own fans at Rodney Parade is a massive respect to everyone who travels that far, up and down the country, week in, week out. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to play in front of them at the moment, and they really get behind us. And again on Saturday, I said they were sensational at the end. If Aaron Rowe scores at the end, I think it's probably a good job he didn't score. I think we fear for the roof coming off of this place in that 98th minute. But it was great, and to know that they're making their way down the M4 with us is brilliant. So thank you.
Have you got any memories from Rodney Parade? Imagine?
Yeah, actually, my first. Listen, I was Wycombe manager for couple of seasons before I got it together, and I say that the first season I got it together, after I met a guy called Andrew Howard who came in as chairman at Wycombe, and we really sorted the place out and we put my stamp down on what I wanted to be. I almost went down the year before out of the Football League, and I was just taking the reins. I wasn't properly managing, and I'll admit that now. I was tough at that start. So I'd say that the Wycombe era started at Rodney Parade in that I think it was 2014-15 season. We went there, we won 2-0, and I remember the game, funnily enough. I don't remember many games in seasons, but I do remember that one because it was a big one. It was mine and Andrew together, our first game, and it was the start of that fantastic journey we went on that ended in the Championship, and playoffs, or Wembley trips and everything with Wycombe, so it was great. So there's a strange, crazy memory there, but we've done well there when we've been there, me and Dobbo. So I know the opposite stands for Gillingham, and we're going to try and turn that around. But we have to be at our best because they're a good side. Any team can beat any team in this league. We've seen that. We need to be on it because they've got some good individual players, definitely. Manager who's obviously new to League Two management and finding his feet, and we don't want it to be against us. So I've said to the boys, do not rest on anything now. We're on this. We've got to have the same energy levels and the same commitment that we've had throughout, and been working hard on that this week. Just
finally, from me, you mentioned about selection headaches. Have the painkillers been out in force yet as you try and write your team?
It's brilliant to have. It is brilliant to have. Obviously Gareth has got another game to sit out. But we're Seb Palmer-Holding, Shadrach Olgie, Ethan Coleman, all back in the fold now. Ewan Williams training with us day in, day out. Probably just a week away, but wow, I've got some selection headaches now, and that's what I wanted. We've got 1 or 2 knocks still that we've got to carry, and we'll miss out this week. Connor being one of those. But apart from that, I've got real good headaches. It's brilliant to pick from. I find it tough because the lads are all bought in, everyone, and a few of them won't come to the trip to Wales. But I'm in the chats with them. They're all saying, "Okay, that's fine. I'll be ready when you need me." And that's exactly what I want. And that's such a hard place to be as a footballer. I've been there, so massive respect to those boys. They're driving the group just as much as the ones that are getting picked in, week out, and brilliant to have the depth of squad we've got, the quality of squad we've got. It means now that the boys who go, the onus is on them to bring something back, because I don't want to be leaving good players at home and taking the wrong players, but I'm pretty sure I'll take the right players to bring something back from Rodney Parade.
Lovely. Gareth, thank you. Ben, all yours.
You mentioned Ethan, so no Armani this weekend?
Yeah, maybe there's a chance, but Ethan has come back from a knock, which is great. You know, he was rested, and it was great he was rested last week, because probably got away with one there, you know, by filling in midfield. But I say filling in, and you've got Johnny Williams, Bradley Dack, and Robbie McKenzie in midfield. They'd probably walk into most League Two midfields. But then on the sidelines, I've got Nelson Krumbeni, Armani Little, and Ethan Coleman, who'd probably walk into most midfield as well. So it's a really, really brilliant place to be. So there is no set 2 or 3, if I play a 3, that we'd pick. And we'll see where we go. But yeah.
And obviously the team doing very well at the moment. We're kind of getting into slightly itchy trigger finger situation and season for some owners. Is it perhaps inevitable that your name is going to be linked by the bloggers and the pundits out there?
Of course, yeah. It's a flattery, and it's not the first time, and it's great to see. You know, it means that we're doing something right at Gillingham. As I say, I'm the one who gets a lot of grief when it doesn't go well. And it's nice to be linked with places when it does go well, you know, because it means something's going well here and people are looking and admiring what we're doing. Yeah, really, it's going to happen. It's football, you know, and in the world of social media nowadays, you know, I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time, but no, great. It's great, flattering you.
And if you can just put the Gills fans at ease, you're happy here, you're staying here?
Very happy here, of course, yeah. Given everything I've been wanting to give, and the backing from the owners has been fantastic, the buy-in from the boys, you know, and we're sitting, you know, second in the league, joint top at the moment, which is a fantastic place with, you know, a real good role. So I'm really happy at Gillingham here.
And creating history as well, of course, and what would it mean to you and to the group to go outright and create a new club record unbeaten?
Yeah, it's not. People will say, you know, other people might say it's not something we've looked at, and that, and maybe some of the players haven't looked at it. I've looked at it and said, you know what, it'd be nice. It would be nice to do that. You know, we've equalled it, so our names are in the history books now. And I said to those players last week, you've just written yourselves into history. You know, well done, because I wasn't here for the first 3 games. You know, they did that themselves, and I'll say for the 17 I've been in charge, they've done it themselves. They really have. I've given them a platform. They're the ones who deserve the credit. So, you know, when we go up against Newport, we'd love to be able to come back unbeaten. You know, just because that's what I do away from home. You know, it's just brilliant to bring something home away from home. Is always good to bring something back. So that's the main reason, because we need points on the board. And the second reason is if we break that record, that would be a phenomenal achievement for any football club, you know, and that would be on the boys as well. Their names will go down in history, but for me, their names are going down well at the moment. Just want a result at Newport.
Like you say, it's not necessarily going to be at the forefront of a player's focus.
No.
In the same way that it might be for a group of fans who will, you know, remember this run and this team with, you know, affection now because of what's happened. Yeah,
listen, players come and go, managers come and go, fans are forever, you know, with clubs, and probably the fans have got more reason to say I was there when we did that. You know, I was there in every game in that run. Some will have been, you know, and that's brilliant to have. But listen, it'd be special for me and the players, believe me. We're not taking this lightly. We're proud to wear that shirt. I'm proud to wear this tracksuit and go out there. You're never going to get my tight jeans and my blue shirt off me, but you know, I am proud to wear the Gills badge, and I love what we're doing here. It really is. So yeah, special times, but serious times. We need to keep winning games and keeping this run going.
And in terms of Newport, I was just looking at the fixtures that they've had at the start of the season, and you know, maybe on paper they've had some tricky games so far. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with that in mind, it's perhaps even a tougher test than it looks. Played some top teams, they really have. You know, teams in form. They went up against MK Dons, you know, with a well-worked goal, and we've got to actually look at this and go, you know what, this could be one of the tougher teams we play, because I know people look at the league and think, what is he talking about? But they have some good individual players, they really do. I'm well aware of one of their players scoring a hat-trick against us last year, you know, and we've got to, you know, everyone says, oh, that was the warning sign and things like that. Listen, we should be preempting these warnings. We should, and we are doing. Me and Dobbo and Pete and Darren, on the football side, we work really hard with my analyst Jack
we do loads of work on the opposition, so we make the boys aware of their strengths. There's no way I would ever go into this going, this is all about us, this is what we do. And some managers do that. I never do that. I always go, it's about us, but this is their strengths. You must be aware of these. You must know what's coming. I think there's a tough test coming, but I am so confident in my boys to get through any tough test. I really am. I'll back them all. But I won't let their levels drop, because that's just not me. No matter who it's against, with these levels will not drop.
Best of luck to you and the boys.
Thank you.
Has there been much chat about the last game at Newport amongst maybe some of your coaching staff that were there?
Yeah, listen, I'm well aware that it's the last team to beat us, and I'm also well aware that, you know, there was a couple of games last year which really were like daggers in the heart to this club, you know. And I think the Bromley game people mentioned. I think the Newport game people mentioned. You know, some tough tests they had last year, and it does seem like that they were beaten quite easy, and that won't happen under me. You know, we won't lie down ever. You know, we'll fight and scrap, and we've seen that through this group. And I'll put my name to this group. You know, back this group, because they've proved to me what they can be. And yeah, so I'm well aware of the threats of Newport. I'm well aware of the irony of everything, but I'm also saying we're on a good thing at the moment. We're in a good place, and I've got some great players coming back from injury. I've got some great players in the team. Wow, it's exciting for me, and I'm hoping that the fans share that.
When you hear that, I mean, Gills have never won at Rodney Parade. They've lost about the last 5 or 6 games to the team. You must relish that, though. You know, you can end that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I can end that. They've never been 21 unbeaten either, you know. So these are challenges that we need to overcome, you know. And I want to do that. It's I'm not one for history really. I don't, you know, it's nice, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these people who go, oh no, I ignore that totally and I blank it out. No, you can't in the modern day. But it's all about performance for me, process. These boys keeping at the level they're at, and I'm a big believer in the results is always a byproduct of the week, of the performance of the group. The results are byproduct. It really is. You're winning games, referees' decisions, or weather changes, or, you know, beach ball once in the Premier League, things like that, right? That happens, and you can't. And it's this: 5 games you win, 5 you lose, 36. There's a scrap in the middle. You've got to be better in those games, and this is a game where we've just got to keep the levels high. I believe we've got enough to beat Newport, and I want to get down the road and show up and get them fans cheering.
And just a word of some of the players that are coming back, they're available. Seb, is he actually ready you can pick him?
Seb's ready for the squad, yep, definitely.
Sorry? How good's that to have him back?
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. See him on the training pitch, you know, and he obviously had a stint at Newport as well, so, you know, there's a little irony there. But, no, great to see Seb and Shad, you know, both back to full fitness. And Ewan, you know, on the training pitch is great. Ethan, again, he's only been out a week, but we've missed him, you know, and so all these little bonuses now, you know. Nelson, Armani, again, you know, really close. So we're hoping that we can. Well, I know I've got big headaches, but I know we're hoping we've got a real big squad to pick from tomorrow and take 18 to go and do the job.
Didn't ask you about it at the weekend, but Daki was given the captain's armband, wasn't he, without Armani there? How good was that for him to lead the side out? Pretty sure he must have enjoyed it. Yeah,
I mean, you'll have to ask him how it felt, but I from watching from the outside, Bradley Dyke getting 94 minutes, that's probably you know, a bit of a lump in the throat moment rather than anything, because he probably didn't think he'd play again at some stages with his injuries, you know. So to come back to play 94 minutes, to captain the team, to put in a performance the way he did, yeah, I thought he was exceptional last week. And Bradley's all in for this club, you know. When you talk about players come and go and managers come and go, he's a player that went and came back, you know. He loves this place, and he will fight for this place. And I think it was a proud moment for Bradley to captain the side on that super performance last week. Yes.
Were you a player who believed in stats?
Listen, I played for John Beck, who always had stats coming out and trying to get 10 crosses in a game and things like that. So slightly, yeah, in that little way. But I think you can overstat things, and there's some big stats there's some stats that don't mean much to me. but there's definitely, when I was a winger, getting 10 crosses a game was a good stat for me, and that sort of thing. But possession and passes and things like that, for me, they can do one sometimes. I know what stats are important. It's the end stat, the goals.
And is this the longest unbeaten run you've had as a manager?
I believe so. I don't know. I think so. We've had some pretty good ones, but I don't know. Somebody will have to say, and that's it's not me being blasé. It's just me not looking up. I don't know. I remember at Wycombe we had some good runs. I definitely didn't go 19 unbeaten at QPR. I know that for a fact. Or at Shrewsbury, so it will only be Wycombe where that run would have been broken. But I can't see that 17 is anywhere else now.
You were talking about how it's hard for players to possibly take the news you're not travelling. Does it, in a weird way, fill you with a sense of fulfilment almost, that you're having to leave these players behind?
It's really tough, I've got empathy for them because I know how they feel. It is a little bit of fulfilment that I'm leaving cracking players behind that you think they could do a job. So how good must the players go in? And that's. But there is no better than anyone else. It's for the game. I'll pick the squad that I believe will win the game. Just because someone doesn't travel doesn't mean someone's better than them. It just means for that game I fancy this, and leaving some of the players at home, some good talent, is very, very hard, But I also know that they will be looking at the result, they'll be watching and they'll be cheering, and that's the bit that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people have the bit where they hope the team loses because they'll get back in. We don't have that here, and the moment I see that here, they won't be here long. They're all behind the team. They just want the team to do well. And it's become a squad game. Football has become a squad game. And I'm safe to say that at the moment the boys are all buying in.
I mentioned obviously the social media comments about elsewhere. How unfair is that to the incumbent for the job? And is it a position you've ever been in?
Sorry, is it
a position you've ever been in?
It's not nice. Yeah, it is a position I've been in. Yeah, I remember when I was at QPR and there was other managers being touted for the job. It's not nice at all. So it's a bit of clickbait, I think, and it's a bit of people earning a living off starting these rumours, or I don't know. It's not nice. As a manager, it's not nice. I tell you that. It's a tough time. It is football management. We all know we get that, and we're all prepared for that. But still not nice. We're all human beings, and never nice to see something like that. But as I say, it's the world we live in. Social media, very flattering to me, but very happy at Gillingham Football Club.
I'll end this week the same question I said to you last week. 20's unbeaten sounds alright. 21 sounds better.
It certainly does. I've only had 17, so I'm still well aware that there's 3 before me. The boys to go, 21 unbeaten would be fantastic for them. And like I say, they're the ones putting their names in the history books, nobody else. And hopefully we can do it. But we'll have a tough time at Newport, and I don't want this record to come close to being anything about the game. The game is about 3 points, respecting a team that are in League Two. They're a damn good team. If we can get anything from there, we've done well, but we're going for the win.
Good luck, sir.